pack. This is my part 2 of kind of the videos that I started. This is a part about what to pack if you're a teacher coming to Egypt. So these are just some of the things that I suggest you pack and that other people in my school suggest you pack, due to the fact that it's really hard to find them in Egypt because Egypt doesn't have a dollar store like we kind of have here in Canada. So here are just some of the things I suggest you get, because knickknacks. If you plan to have a treasure chest or a positive reinforcement surprise box, I would suggest you buy a lot of little doohickeys because you can't find these in Egypt, and if you do, they're a bit expensive. So definitely bulk up at the dollar store to buy these so that you can use them in Egypt. So cards, little booklets with underwriting, pencils, whatever you can find and want in your prize box. I got crayons and little cars. I suggest you do that here in Canada as they're super hard to find in Egypt. I'd also suggest you find a calendar. Now in Canada it's super easy to find these all over the place, but in Egypt I actually looked everywhere and I couldn't find just a blank calendar that I could fill in myself that I could hang on my wall. I could only find year calendars, and it was a pain in the butt to have to buy 2 calendars while I was at school. So if you can buy a school calendar in Canada, I would highly suggest it, and just fill it in yourself so that way you know what's going on throughout the year. You can buy 1 or 2, however many you need. The next thing I would suggest is Pom-Poms. Now, I was suggested this by another teacher, and I was like, yes, Pom-Poms. It is so hard to find Pom-Poms in Egypt, so I bought a ton of Pom-Poms. I'm hoping to use them this year. At my school, there's lots of stuff that you could use for play, because the teachers before you would bulk up on stuff, and then you just kind of accumulate them, and then that way you can have it for the next teacher. But I also really like to supply or bulk up on play stuff for the kids, so I decided to get little wraps of palm support and elbow support just so the kids can use for doctor play. More pom-poms! Foam lettering. I tried to get these in Egypt and once again I couldn't, so I found them at the dollar store once again, and I decided I needed more of these. So foam blocks. My goodness. So my classroom has quite a few foam blocks, but I really wanted more. Like, I want a ton of foam blocks so the kids can keep building and make humongous structures. They could make big ones, but I wanted a ton of these, so I actually ended up not buying 1, not 2, but 3. Next, I highly suggest you get playing cards. So they don't really have playing cards. It's great to have for counting for the kids, but they just don't have them there, and it's super easy to buy them for cheap. Like, you probably get 2 for 50 cents or 2 for $2. So I highly suggest you stock up on them. I bought like 4 or 5 when I came home last time, and I'm bringing back even more because my kids love using playing cards. Next, if you like to bring them, I suggest bringing some folders. They do have some in Egypt, but I really like these ones where you can kind of slide papers in, and I think I want to use them this year for my organizing. So I decided to buy them for my class. They're kind of hard to find in Egypt. What you need to remember, if you get a binder or anything that has rings on it, note, Canada, 3 rings, 3 hole punch rings. Egypt, 2 hole punch rings. So if you bring a binder to Egypt or anything like that, make sure you bring a hole puncher that matches that, because you will not find that in Egypt. And last but not least, teachers in Egypt, dice. This is also something that's kind of hard to find in Egypt. You could make your own if you wanted to, but this is something I'm bringing for a friend because I actually bought myself some when I went last time, and they're great to have in case you run out. I'm sure you can find them in Egypt, but they're kind of hard to find. So I would suggest you bring some dice with you. Other than that, teachers, what I suggest you bring is some great clothing for working. Make sure you cover your shoulders, your knees, and your chest area for girls, because when you work, those are the areas you need to cover, especially in a Muslim country. It's really hot at first, but you kind of get used to it. So I highly suggest you get clothing that covers all those areas, so that way you don't get in trouble. And it just also makes your life easier when you're in Egypt. Thank you for watching my video. Bye!